Everton will get us underway on an unseasonably chilly May evening here in North London. Arsenal's renowned playing surface looking better than ever though. No wonder Paul Burgess won the Premiership's Groundsman of the Year award.
No excuses for the players tonight. The pitch does look absolutely magnificent. We've got to get it into feet, otherwise the ball will skim out of play like that one there from Pistone. But it is a great credit to the groundsman. They have managed to recover the pitch, because I saw it mid-season. It looked like it was being worn for the first time in many a year. But it does look magnificent tonight. I know both teams have effectively finished their season in terms of finishing fourth and second. I'm sure this will be a very competitive game tonight.
Yobo with the headed clearance. Flicked on by McFadden. Straight to Sol Campbell. A big cheer from the fans when his name was read out before the kick-off. He's missed 17 games in all since being injured at the start of February against Manchester United. There's McFadden again for Everton. Happy to see the ball cross the line for their first corner.
A shame he didn't get the crossing. Watson and Arteta got into the middle. Settled for the corner though.
David Weir, who scored his first goal for more than 3 years against Newcastle at the weekend, with the confidence to come forward again. And it's in his direction as well. He ducked under it and finds Arteta. Spanish player's cross could have been dangerous. Back in by Carsley, and easy for Jens Lehmann, who's kept 9 clean sheets in his last 11 games since he regained his place in Arsenal's goal from Almunia. And this fairly new partnership at the heart of Arsenal's defence, Senderos and Campbell side by side. It's been Senderos and Toure for so long, of course. Pistone restored to left back in the Everton side. He's lost his place in recent weeks. Vieira's challenge, the referee allowing play to go on with Everton in possession with Yobo. And now Hibbert, who's had a very consistent season for them at right back. Here he is again. Watson on the overlap. Well read by Campbell, whose aerial power, of course, will be an extra vital factor for Arsenal. There's a good ball for Arteta, and who might have done better.
Good chance, wasn't it? Lovely run from James Beattie. Decoy run, watch Beattie. He goes one way, and then the gap appears. I thought he could have done better there. Got to strike it perhaps on his left foot. Tried to curl it with his right foot. Credit to Lehmann though, in the right position.
Arteta, as you saw, one of several Everton players whose immediate future is in doubt. He's on loan officially from Real Sociedad in the Spanish league. And Everton are yet to sit down with him and discuss the possibility of a permanent transfer. So a lot of the players out there tonight don't know what their immediate futures will be. And that includes, of course, one notable man in the Arsenal ranks in Dennis Bergkamp, though Arsene Wenger has said in his match notes in tonight's official programme that he intends to sit down with the Dutchman in the summer and discuss a new deal. Bergkamp the target for that through ball, one back by Yobo, Carsley, and behind Hibbert, Arsenal's throw. Remarkably, if Everton win tonight and in their final game away to Birmingham on Sunday, they'll actually equal the number of victories they enjoyed last season when, of course, they won the title in record-breaking style. Here's Van Persie. Perez. On to Lauren. Van Persie again. Now Patrick Vieira. On to Edu. Bergkamp. Clever.
How many times have we seen him do that? Dennis Bergkamp just opens his body up, tries to curl it towards the top corner. They had to be patient, Arsenal, because there wasn't anyone in the middle. Just gets in that little area, creates his own space, and is trying to whip it to the top corner. See it lovely from this angle. I've seen him score so many goals over the years. Not this time.
He scored when Arsenal beat Everton 4-1 at Goodison back in August, and at that stage I must say the many pessimistic forecasts for Everton's season looked as though they could come true. Remember, they'd lost Wayne Rooney, Thomas Radzinski as well. There'd been a boardroom upheaval, financial problems. They'd sailed close to the wind in terms of relegation in the previous campaign, and all looked far from rosy, which makes the way this season has turned out all the more remarkable.
I think I was one of them, Alan. That first game when they did lose to Arsenal, heavy defeat. He really feared for them.
And Percy, good challenge by Yobo, Arsenal's corner.
Good tackle from Yobo, had to win the ball. It's a good run from Van Persie. Typical Bergkamp to see him. All about timing. He was spot on with that.
Perez will take the kick. Senderos and Campbell both run to the near post area. That's an easy take for Richard Wright, playing just his 11th game of the season in Everton's goal. Enormous kick downfield, has gone straight through to his opposite number, Lehmann. He finds Bergkamp. Lauren, Edu. Almost certainly will be the Brazilian Edu's final game here at Highbury. He has said he intends to leave in the summer.
Been a good servant for the club, hasn't he, Edu? I think they will miss him.
Senderos with the ball over the top, straight through again to Richard Wright. Now Pistone. Everton have qualified for Europe for the first time since they won the FA Cup 10 years ago, and it's 25 years since they last qualified through their league position. Fourth is the highest they've ever finished since the Premiership was formed.
Done a fantastic job, hasn't he, David Moyes? Can't praise him enough, really. From that dreadful start they had in the first game to qualify for the Champions League is an outstanding achievement. You can talk about Mourinho, Wenger, Ferguson, all their good seasons. I think David Moyes has done a brilliant job.
Sixth, incidentally, was the previous best Everton had achieved. That was under Joe Royle some 9 years ago. Lauren under pressure from Kilban. Arteta keeps the pressure going, but Arsenal pop the ball about. Oh, to that moment, till Senderos gives it away. What a mistake that was to let in Beattie.
Got away with it, didn't he, Senderos? I think Beattie got a nasty whack as well from Sol Campbell. Just trying to pass it across to his defensive partner. Trying to take it early, Beattie. Did get a whack from Sol Campbell. I think he's okay, though.
Watson wins it back for Everton, then runs into trouble in the considerable shape of Vieira. Edu. Here's Bergkamp. And they just back away, Everton, inviting the ball to Van Persie, who completes a superb move in brilliant style. 8 minutes gone, the two Dutch masters, young and old, combine to give Arsenal yet another goal, their 80th in the Premiership this season.
Well, I said he'd turn it on tonight, didn't I, Dennis Bergkamp? But Everton have only got themselves to blame. Fantastic play. What's this run from Van Persie? The through ball is absolutely brilliant from Dennis Bergkamp. Because anyone can pass the ball between two defenders, but it's all about the weight. Look at the weight. He's only got to stroke it in the corner. The through ball is absolutely brilliant. Good finish from Van Persie. That was all about Dennis Bergkamp.
Van Persie's 5th goal in his last 8 games. It's the first time, by the way, that Van Persie and Bergkamp have started together in a Premiership match. And we've just seen what they're capable of. Could it be, however, a short-lived partnership? And Everton have been rocked, as so many teams have, throughout the last 8 or 9 months, by an early Arsenal goal. And when Arsenal score first, they usually win. Just one defeat in the last 70 games in which they've taken the lead. Hoping they're going to get a free kick here, but I think Mr. Wiley's indicated just a throw, yes. Carsley. Yobo. Good turn by McFadden.
I think they've made a bright start, Everton, generally, but it just proves against a top-class team you cannot give possession away in midfield because they're just so good. They exploit it, Arsenal. We've already seen examples of their 1 and 2 touch and their movement. Spoke about it at the start of the game. You asked me if it is second to none. You're probably right, Alan, because when they do pass it 1 and 2 touch, there aren't many better teams. So evident with that goal. Superb stuff.
Well, I thought Arsenal's football in the first half here on Sunday against Liverpool was as good as anything I've seen all season. Senderos on to Campbell. Arsenal have won 10 of their last 11 games in League and Cup. There's Bergkamp. Challenge from McFadden. Bergkamp didn't think so. And almost retaliated then. He did. Free kick to Everton.
He's got that side to his game, hasn't he, Dennis Bergkamp? I've seen it over the years, can't take that away from him. Just a bit disappointed he didn't get the free kick in the first place.
Richard Wright's almost opening task of the game to pick the ball out of his neck. On the ground where, of course, he won the double in his only season as an Arsenal player. Senderos got up well, Vieira. Edu. Bergkamp. Oh, what a ball. What a ball for Reyes. Van Persie pulls short. It's gone to Pires. Brilliant save by Wright. But Pires knobs home the rebound. They may be runners-up, but they're turning on championship style already, Arsenal.
That's another fantastic finish from Robert Pires. But again, Dennis Bergkamp's ball is sheer quality. They don't know what to do with him, Everton. Look where he picks the ball up. Tony Hibbitt's ball watching. But look at the weight of pass in behind. Good play from Reyes. He's actually trying to pick out Van Persie. I think that's a good save from Richard Wright. And he's so unfortunate. It's a precision header, isn't it, from Pires. Look at that ball again from Bergkamp. Good save from Wright. And that is a difficult header from Pires. Take nothing away from him. To get it on target's difficult enough. Because it bounces viciously. He helps it back towards goal. Couldn't have put it any better position.
He scored against Liverpool with a spectacular free kick. He scored against Everton with a spectacular header. 16 goals for the season now for the man in possession, Robert Pires. Only 12 minutes gone and Arsenal already 2 goals to the good. The sort of start that Everton must have feared. They had their big emotional moment, of course, at the weekend, beating Newcastle and then seeing Arsenal beat Liverpool to ensure that Everton would finish 4th. And in all honesty, it must be difficult for their players to pick it up again against such excellent opponents as Arsenal. But they're professionals, they're paid to do a good job, and I'm sure David Moyes will remind them of that. They've got to do better than this.
Well, I think that would have been his biggest concern tonight, David Moyes. I think that's exactly what Arsene Wenger would have been looking for his players to go out and try and get 3, 4, maybe 5 goals. And carry on in this vein of form, they will do. I think it's important from Everton's point of view. They've obviously had a good week. They must have been celebrating. But they are professional. And the last thing they need is to get beat 4 or 5-0. Doesn't do the morale any good at all. And they don't want to be chasing shadows for 90 minutes. I think they've just got to get a bit tighter. They've got to get some tackles in. And generally push up as a team.
Arsenal won the 5 home games in a row they'd had before tonight, scoring 16 goals in the process. So they're well on course for Highbury to maintain its 4 goals a game average for the season. And we haven't had the first quarter of an hour yet. Rare mistake by Pires.
They are dominating the possession, aren't they, Arsenal? It was a good start, like I said, from Everton, the first 5 minutes or so. As soon as that goal's gone in, total dominance from Arsenal.
We've already mentioned Arsenal's phenomenal scoring record. That's 81 now, but they have let in 34. That's already 8 goals more than they conceded in the whole of last season. So there is a glimmer of hope in that statistic for Everton. But of course, David Moyes' team are not prolific scorers themselves.
Well, they're not. I don't think their formation allows them to be. When you play a 4-1-4-1 like they have for most of the season, or a 4-5-1, the key statistic there is the one up front. When you've only got one player up front, it does make it difficult. Poor old James Beattie challenging for the ball now. Even if you flick the ball on, there aren't too many players going to get on the end of it.
He's hardly had a touch apart from that first mistake by Senderos that gave him possession. Vieira loses out to Arteta. Kulban to his left, McFadden to his right.
Again, it's half a chance for Everton. Better skill this time from James Beattie. Arteta's looked lively when he's got the ball. Does well, Beattie, because he comes inside. Again, trying to curl it into the far corner. Comfortable save again.
And Percy. Edu. Now Lauren. On to Perez. A bit optimistic that was.
I don't think Thierry Henry would have got that one.
I don't think Linford Christie in his prime would have got that one. He waits, he watches, he wonders, and as usual he's got an expression to sum up his feelings.
He knows we're watching him. And what a fantastic player. It'd be nice to see him back on the pitch. Been a great credit to the Premiership since his arrival.
Not entirely sure David Moyes would agree with your emotions there, but
he certainly won't. He's the last person we want to see on the pitch.
Yeah, 2-0 down in a quarter of an hour. You don't really want to see the Premiership's leading scorer coming on. Senderos, Vieira, on to Van Persie. And it reaches Reyes. Seems equally at home in that wide position on the left as he does as a central striker. So many excellent young players Arsene Wenger has brought in his time here, as well as the established stars. Dennis Bergkamp is trying to send out a message, a reminder to his manager of just how useful he can still be to Arsenal Football Club. We couldn't have done much better.
I don't think he needs to, Alan. I honestly feel that Arsene Wenger knows exactly what he can do. He works with him every day. I think the only question when you get into your mid-30s is, have you still got the fitness? Have you still got the desire? I think the answer is quite simply yes. I'll be very, very surprised if they don't sign him on another one-year contract. I think the fans will demand that. Perhaps eventually, long-term, there might be a place for him on the coaching staff because he is a big presence, not just on the pitch, but off the pitch as well.
If he's still here, he'll celebrate 10 years at Arsenal in a few weeks' time. As Carsley breaks forward for Everton and loses out to Campbell. Vieira. Nice touch from Van Persie. The elbow was very tight to him, forcing it through to McFadden. Good tackle. Oh, Edu. And the referee has brought Arsenal back to give the free kick for the initial challenge by James McFadden. There's Edu. Vieira. Oh, it was almost another excellent ball. Struggling to cope with the pace and the quality of Arsenal's football at the moment. What about that as well? A little back flick from Reyes. And Vieira storms through to find Van Persie. Offside was the final outcome.
Lovely move again, lovely football. What about the flick from Reyes? I think that's called showboating, isn't it? Fantastic 1-2. Vieira as well. A little bit lucky when he did eventually get through him.
Watson looking for Beattie. Senderos got there first.
They need to make the interception. Taking up a good position, James Beattie at the far post. And get him the service. He will score goals, James Beattie, for Everton. Although I do think we'll see the best of him next season. A difficult opening first season, or half a season for him. Always difficult settling into your new club. I think we'll see the best of Beattie next season. Certainly good enough to play for Everton.
Everton have lost their last 3 away games, and in fact they've only managed 1 win in the last 10 on the road. That was at Aston Villa a couple of months ago now. But generally speaking, their away form has been a massive improvement on last season. fantastic roller coaster ride he's had. 7th in his first season, they almost reached Europe. 17th last season, they were almost relegated. Now they have qualified for Europe. And, by the way, he is the first Everton manager to finish above Liverpool in the league table for 18 years.
Howard Kendall, the last one, I take it.
Well, you know your Everton history better than I do, TC.
I knew you wasn't going to join in that one, Alan.
Here's Weir. Gets it back from Arteta. Yobo. Yes, Everton actually won the league that season, and Liverpool were runners-up in the days when Merseyside truly dominated the Championship. I guess you could say over the last 12 months, that mantle has moved to the capital. But Arsenal no longer have it all their own way in their own backyard. A certain team from a dozen miles west of here are going to have a major influence, I guess, for many years to come.
There's no doubt about that. But let's not forget the team who's in the Champions League as well. They've done well to get there.
Lobo finding Watson. Flattened to the right. Beattie down the centre. Kilban coming in from the left. There's certainly plenty of width in this Everton attack. But you don't want to give the ball away that cheaply to Arsenal. And Percy picks out Reyes, who's onside. Vieira, Perez, there's Lauren, Senderos, Patrick Vieira, Perez, and Arsenal just stroking it about with such apparent ease. It looks so simple, but it's so hard to achieve this kind of football.
Well, I think football is a simple game, and if you can play 1 and 2 touch as well as what Arsenal do, that's why it looks so simple. It's all about movement, as we saw with both goals. It's about the weight of pass as well. As I mentioned it, anyone could play 1 and 2 touch, but if you smash the ball at someone, you can't then play the next ball 1 or 2 touch. That's what Arsenal do so well. When they do pass it to their teammate, they just stroke it in. They allow them to play the next ball 1 and 2 touch. And the movement is exemplary. It's fantastic, particularly in midfield, in the wide positions and up front.
I wish we'd started counting the passes in this move.
Nutmeg as well there, I think, on Lee Carsley.
Lauren. Still, Everton can't get it back. Here's Van Persie. Well, you can see he had only one thought in his mind at the end of that string of Arsenal passes.
I think Lauren wanted to ball back and gave it to him. There's only one thing on Van Persie's mind. Watch Lauren. Doesn't stand and watch it. Goes inside, makes a great run, wants it back. There's only one thing on Van Persie's mind. There's Lauren on the penalty spot. Wanted a cross. Well, he's got every right to have a shot though, Van Persie.
Everton have got to do their best to try and get some kind of foothold in this game before half-time. They've been very much second best. There's Beattie. Kilban. Useful cross. Watson goes for it with Lehman. And I think probably fouled the keeper.
I think that was a good take. Confident take. There have been times this season where he has looked a bit dodgy from crosses. Under big pressure from Watson. Keeps hold of the ball.
Arsenal finally slowed it down. Playing it back in, but straight to Edu. He had so much time to bring it down. Missed out on Vieira. Kilban. Good challenge by Senderos. Very good tackle.
He's been quality, hasn't he, since he got into the team.
But here's Arteta for Everton. Good strike, but always going wide, I think. Took a deflection for a corner.
I think it was off Senderos again, wasn't it? The deflection. How vital was it? Vieira, who gets caught in possession, strikes it early. It was enough to take it wide. Good spot from Alan Wiley.
That's a good header of the ball. Behind him. Elbows there too on the far post. He's not that far away. Still managed to keep possession. Watson got a shot in. Carsley beaten to it by Cole. And this is where Arsenal use their pace to such great effect. Oh, what a superb ball. Pistone's covering was absolutely textbook.
Well, it had to be. Again, Everton corner. Look how fast they break Arsenal. What about this for a ball again? In behind the Everton defence. Perhaps a foul by Reyes in the end on Pistone. Not been given. It was good covering by the left back.
Bergkamp hits it. Just as well for Everton. Davy Weir was in the way.
Well, he done well, Davy Weir. He has to make up a lot of ground. Look how much ground. Been obstructed originally by Vieira. Does well to get anywhere near him.
Edu. Senderos. Yeah, with a lovely layoff. Bergkamp spots the run from Van Persie and picks him out. It was a difficult ball to control for the youngster. Goal kick. Here's Ashley Cole for Arsenal, who lead 2-0 here. Poor ball, Arteta with the interception. Now Pistone. Everton's throw. Kilban. Carsley. Pistone. Very good challenge again by Senderos, who just seems to get better and better with every game he plays.
He does go to ground. He does invariably win the ball as well.
What a ball. Bergkamp, another one then from Vieira and Van Persie. This time couldn't finish. Another sweeping move.
Great football again from Arsenal. Reyes wanted the ball on the left. Again, Van Persie trying to shoot.
Edu. Vieira. Here's Pires. Just waiting for Lauren to join in. Here he is. Now Vieira. Edu. Brilliant skill from the Brazilian, and he then gives it away to Carsley. Vieira's doing well to wrestle back possession. Vieira. Bergkamp. Reyes. What another lovely ball from Reyes. Ashley Cole.
A disappointing cross in the end, but he does make such great runs, doesn't he, Ashley Cole? Always looking to get in from that left wing position. And Yobo does well, stands his ground. Disappointing end to the move, but again, great movement from Arsenal.
Here's Pistone. Watson. Kilban. Easy again for Raymond.
It's too near the goalkeeper. You're going to put crosses in, at least give James Beattie something to go for.
Yeah, another brilliant ball. Reyes. And Percy free, edge of the box. There's Vieira. Oh! A wonderful strike.
Lovely dummy, wasn't it, from Edu? Gets perhaps one of these a season, doesn't he, Patrick Vieira? They all want the ball. There's a dummy. Superb stuff. How close was it? Very close, wasn't it? Unfortunately, he cuts across the ball, Vieira. You've got to do that to try and get it in the top corner. Just puts too much in it. Very close, though.
Exhibition football so far from Arsenal. It's like watching a footballing version of the Harlem Globetrotters. Arteta. Handles clearance, finds Pires. Reyes. Didn't let him have an easy ride, but he still finds the perfect through ball for Bergkamp. Now Van Persie, Yobo's tackle. Van Persie's beaten him. And Yobo at the second attempt gets it clear. Not a bad ball either for Arteta. Well, he knows his side. Very much second best at the moment.
I think there's no doubt about that. I think he will be pleased, David Moyes, that it is only 2-0. Because if they can get a goal back, Everton, it will change things. He could be pleased just to get in 2-0 at half-time, perhaps reorganise. He has got options on the bench. The likes of Ben and Ferguson can come on. They'll only be worth a while doing that if you're still only 2-0 down. Any more goals, it makes it difficult, whoever you've got on the bench.
Just one more game left, of course, after tonight, and that's also away. They play Bolton Wanderers at the Reebok on Sunday. Everton have 61 points. Incredibly, that's 22 points more than they had at this stage last season. Kilban winning it back for them, but couldn't keep possession for long. Pires, Edu. And the Arsenal fans find their voices again. As Reyes finds Campbell. On to Vieira. An orthodox return ball from Pires. Lauren. Reyes. Oh, lovely stuff from Vieira. And off they go again, Arsenal. Edu. This is Pires. And Lauren. Cheers greeting every accurate ball. And most of them are. Switches the angle to Lauren on the right. Bergkamp. Wonderful stuff, isn't it? Beautiful little triangles. And then the devastating through ball for Cole, whose back heel was brilliant, and Percy couldn't get there. Reyes did. Goal kick, but what a move again.
What a goal that would have been. It's that run from Ashley Cole. Great vision from Vieira. Ashley Cole does brilliant. He was running out of ground, tries the back heel. Both Van Persie and Reyes can't get a shot on target.
And the
self-boring Arsenal.
Yeah, I'm going to say the self-mocking chant rolls around Highbury again.
Nothing boring about this team and the way they play football. Or that diving header.
There's Sol Campbell. FA Cup final places up for grabs, of course, so there's plenty of incentive for Arsenal to keep playing this game to the best of their ability. I don't think we'll see them easing off, particularly people like Sol Campbell. Remarkably enough, his cup final place far from assured. Here's Edu. Lovely ball over the top again, just too far this time for Reyes.
He stopped his run, didn't he, Reyes? I think he was worried about Richard Wright coming out. If he'd have continued his run, he would have got the ball.
To watch Arsenal in this kind of mood, but I think we've seen evidence again, Tony, this season of just how important defensive stability is. Everton, for instance, have actually scored less goals than they scored in the whole of last season. We'll come back to that because here's another Arsenal goal on the way. Patrick Vieira with a little dink over the goalkeeper makes it 3-0.
You don't need to mention the man who's involved again. Everyone cuddling him. But this is an exquisite finish from Patrick Vieira. Look at the one-touch passing. There's Bergkamp, involved at the start. Back to him again. Look at that through ball. He just makes it look so easy. It's not an easy finish. Again, way of pass from Dennis Bergkamp. But that is not an easy finish from Patrick Vieira. He makes it look easy. Look how big Richard Wright is. Stands up, he does everything right. He still scoops it over him. 3-0 to Arsenal. Who can say they don't deserve it? It's been absolutely fantastic to watch.
Well, I was going to make a point about Arsenal's defensive problems this season, but if you can score goals the way they have in the opening half an hour or so here, who needs to defend? I guess they could argue. But it is a fact, though, that that's something they've got to work on again next season. As I say, Everton, scoring less goals than they did last season, have done so much better because they let fewer in.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I don't think there's ever been any question about Arsenal having the ability to score goals. But if you look at the top team this season, and there's no doubt that Chelsea have been the top team, they've got the best defensive record. And I think that's what Arsenal have just got to look to improve next season. But I think looking at Senderos, Sol Campbell and Toure, if they can keep the players fit, I think they will do a lot better next season. And perhaps a goalkeeping position as well, because I think that's been a problem for them. Lehmann's been excellent the last 10 or 12 games. But if they can be a bit more solid as a back four and with the goalkeeper, there's no doubt in the quality they've got going forward. But I think they might need to get Dennis Bergkamp signed up very quickly, because he's been involved in all 3 goals.
It would be easy to suggest that if Arsenal don't, somebody else will, but he has gone on record, Bergkamp, as saying that if he does not get the offer of a new contract here at Highbury, he will almost certainly retire from the game. And that would be a big loss. He's far too good for that.
Well, I can't see him playing for another English club. About time we've seen a tackle go in. Was it 40-odd minutes? First real tackle. Running malice there from Lee Carsley. No yellow card. Probably the right decision. I think Everton have got to start to get a few tackles in. They've got to try and squeeze up as a team, but of course it's so difficult, because if you squeeze up, it leaves gaps in behind, and that's where the goals are coming from.
Another tackle from Carsley, another free kick. I don't think he'll get away with another one after that. And in fact, he might have had a bit too much to say to referee Alan Wiley.
I think that's what he's saying to him. Second tackle in about, what, 30 seconds. Catches him on the ankle. It was good skill from Edu, wasn't it? With a bit of verbals just after that. I'm sure he's saying to him, no more tackles, I don't want to book you, but if I have to, I will do.
full marks to Alan Wiley for dealing with that so sensibly, though.
Yeah, there's many referees who no doubt would have brandished a yellow card very quickly there. Sometimes you just got to talk to the player, and that's what he's done. No doubt it's the last warning, though.
Carsley's 100th appearance for Everton tonight. He doesn't want to mark it in the wrong way. Well, the Arsenal fans just reminding their manager of what they think of a certain Dennis Bergkamp. Here's Campbell. Now Perez. Lauren. Reyes back to Campbell. Bergkamp. Lovely ball. Edu. That was a rather cynical trick by Yobo, and that could lead to further problems for Everton here. Perez scored from a very similar position to this against Liverpool on Sunday.
I think there'll be a fight about who takes it. We've got so many options. I think Bergkamp scored from this range. Reyes, Perez, you mentioned. Van Persie's put the ball down. He seems to want to shoot from everywhere tonight. Choice of 4, and they've told Perez to go away.
One thing is clear, it clearly won't be a quick free kick. Mr. Wiley made that obvious. It's Van Persie. Oh, that was unusual. Persie was almost standing on the line. Oh, great save by right end from Reyes.
There's 2 fantastic saves from Richard Wright. I think that's possibly the better one because he's got Perez right in front of him. Wonderful strike comes in, but that's at a nice height for Richard Wright. Swerving, again he's got a defender in front of him as well. Perhaps I'm not doing him a credit. 2 good saves from Richard Wright. He'll be pleased with that. A few question marks about him in his Arsenal spell. And when he went to Everton, that'll do his confidence no end of good.
And Arsenal have certainly been the scourge of Merseyside these last few days. They played just as well as this in the first half against Liverpool. And they've got an extra goal in the first 45 minutes against Everton.
Oh, he's a lucky boy, isn't he, Yobo? You just cannot do that against this Arsenal team.
There's no end of season feel about this, not from Arsenal's point of view anyway. They're in the mood, aren't they?
They certainly are. It's been a privilege to be here tonight as well. The quality of football has been superb. Let's hope it continues into the second half. I'm sure it will do. If it does get a bit dull, they've got the likes of Thierry Henry to come on. Fantastic, isn't it? What a great time to be an Arsenal supporter.
Well, I'm certain we will see Henry at some stage.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, is there? They need to get him on as well. I think if you're winning 3-0, I'm not quite sure he'll play the whole of the second half, but they need to give him a bit of sharpness, a bit of fitness, and get him ready for the FA Cup final, because that is the major game left for Arsenal this season.
Lauren. Could afford to slip and still retain possession. A minute to half-time. Everton's players will be glad to hear that whistle, but maybe not the admonishment that will surely come their way from their manager. He's a fiercely competitive Scot. It looks as though he's already lining up a few ear bashings.
It'll be interesting to see what tactics he does use at half-time. 3-0 down. Does he have a right go at them? Or does he suggest, get out there, you can do a lot better than that, I know you can. Try and get a couple of goals in the second half. Might need to make a couple of changes.
It's a matter of pride as well now for Everton, isn't it?
Certainly is.
Here's BT.
He's had a couple of half chances, hasn't he, James BT? This is very difficult. He's coming down, he's off balance, leaning back. There's only one place the ball's going to go.
2 goals in 12 games for BT since his move from Southampton in January. Senderos has given it away to Kilbat. Vieira comes to win it back. Vieira again. Campbell gets it back from Cole. Arsenal now just seeing out the half, looking to preserve their 3-goal advantage, which could in truth have been even greater. A couple of fine saves by Richard Wright, former Arsenal keeper, have kept Everton in with at least a slim hope here, but it is slim, very slim. Magnificent virtuoso performance from a wonderful footballer. Dennis Bergkamp had a part to play in all 3 Arsenal goals, and what superb goals they were. Robin van Persie on target first, then Pires with a header from distance at the end of a sweet move. Patrick Vieira with that lovely little dink over the goalkeeper, making it 3-0. Arsenal with just 4 defeats in the Premiership all season, against Manchester United home and away, and away games against Liverpool and Bolton. Strangely enough, they've only got 4 points fewer than they had at this stage last season, and of course they won the title and remain undefeated. It just underlines what a fantastic campaign Chelsea have had. Gets his first touch since replacing BT, who'll be very disappointed. He hasn't had that many first-team opportunities of late, so to be taken off at half-time, unless there's an injury we don't know about, a real blow for him.
I feel for him a little bit because he didn't get the best of service in James BT. It is tough up there on your own. They've made the change, Everton. And one thing Marcus Bent will provide for them is a bit more pace up front. If Arsenal are a bit sloppy at the back, like they was at times in the first half, and I'm sure Bent will exploit that. He's had a good season for Everton. He'll have a point to prove as well. Coming on now. I think all the substitutions are just straight forward swaps, position-wise.
David Weir's clearance. Pistone with a good ball, but McFadden fails to take it in his stride. That's disappointing.
He's in a good position there, James McFadden. Could have got hold of the ball. But already Everton looking a bit sharper at the start of this second half. I think I mentioned the fact that it took 40 minutes to put a tackle in. I think it was about 40 seconds when the first one came in from Lee Carsley there.
There's Cole. Everton have held on to 4th place for the last 4 months, and they haven't been out of a Champions League qualifying position since early September. There have been times when they seem to have lost the way. They certainly lost a few games, but crucially for them, the other challengers, notably Liverpool and of course Bolton Wanderers, Middlesbrough and so on, all faltered when Everton did. Here's Yobo. On to Pistone. Pires takes it off him and finds the magnificent Bergkamp, who finds another glorious ball. Now then, the referee had a long look at the challenge by Yobo on Henry and decided there was nothing wrong with it.
Well, I thought it was a penalty. I'd be interested to see it again. It looked like he clipped him to me, Yobo.
Here's Bent at the other end for Everton. Didn't take Thierry Henry long to get involved, did it? Been on the field precisely 3 minutes and might well have earned Arsenal a penalty, and now he's offside.
Well, that was tight as well. Very, very tight. I think with the original one, I think Yobo should have stepped up. Does he clip Henry? What's the skill? What's Yobo's trailing leg? Does he catch him? I think he does. Might well have been looking for it slightly, Henry. I think that was a foul.
There's Watson for Everton. Could be a useful cross. Bent was waiting for it, but Senderos got that ahead of him. Fadden. Watson's done well. Hibbert. Bent on the far post. Senderos equal to it again. And Pires has got the pace to change defence into attack in an instant here. Glorious ball for Reyes, who couldn't quite meet it with his head as he intended.
And again, that's going to be Everton's biggest problem. They've got to push forward and try and get a goal, try and get back into the match. As they do, all sorts of spaces are going to open up. And as we've already seen at the start of this second half, counter-attacking wise, Arsenal are simply different class.
Foul's gone against Arteta. I can confirm, by the way, that James Beattie did go off because of an injury. It wasn't a tactical substitution. He has a knee problem. And a real stop-start career at Goodison so far for him. Of course, he didn't help himself by getting sent off against Chelsea in what was only his 7th appearance for Everton. And that led to a 3-match ban. There's Bergkamp, Henry. It's come through the Pires. It's 4.
But this time they're a bit fortunate, Arsenal. Pires isn't offside because it comes off an Everton defender. Lovely build-up play again. Henry's the man who keeps hold of the ball. It's Lee Carsley, isn't it? He wasn't offside anyway, regardless of who it come off. But again, the finishing, they just make it look so simple, Arsenal. I think what's always impressive is when you get in those positions, don't thrash at it, don't try and smash it, just stroke it in the corner. There's Pires, knows exactly where the goal is, just siphoned it in. Great finish. He's on a hat-trick.
He's now on 17 goals for the season. Last season was his best ever for goals as an Arsenal player. He scored 19, so he's got a chance of equalling or even bettering that. Lauren on to the goal scorer Pires. Oh, brilliant football again. Brilliant. And in steps Everton's Arteta to win it back for them. The Spaniard was fouled by the young Frenchman, Flamini. Now Watson. Good challenge by Campbell. Great skill by Reyes. Bergkamp. Here's Reyes again. Off Yobo for a corner.
Well, I think Everton have got to be very, very careful because they quite easily could concede 6 or 7 the way things are going. It's not necessarily that they've been that bad, it's just that Arsenal are that good.
Against Liverpool, of course, Arsenal couldn't sustain it in the second half. Liverpool came back very well against them. But a 4-goal deficit for Everton here, almost impossible to change. Lauren. Flamini. Bergkamp. Great ball, Henry!
And he wasn't offside as well. I think it's the right decision. But again, the vision from Bergkamp. Watch Henry. Goes in front of the defender. When it's played, he's not offside. Just fails to get a touch on it. Brilliant ball in. Great run from Henry. I'll be surprised if he doesn't get a goal before the night's over, Thierry Henry.
Everton have got to be careful, otherwise they'll go under to a big score here. Well, it's big enough already at 4. There's no sign of Arsenal easing off. I think it was the start of the season, not the finish. 10 days' time, they've got an FA Cup final. And one more league game after this. But they're enjoying themselves, you can see that. Lauren, brilliant. Just only got that well. You almost feel sorry for Everton.
Well, you do. I think if you're looking at making a change at the moment, rather than an attacking change, you make a defensive change. Perhaps bring on Alan Stubbs and go 5 at the back or something and just try and damage limitation, really. There's no way they're going to get back into this match now.
Here goes Thierry Henry. Tees it up for Bergkamp. Crowd would love to see him score tonight.
I'd love to say Dennis Bergkamp's got to get them on target, but after the match he's had tonight, very difficult to criticise him too much. Leaning back slightly. And again he goes for the curler, doesn't go for power, tries to curl it towards the top corner. I think they will take the roof off if he gets a goal tonight.
Arteta. Pires nips in to win it back. Throw in though for Everton. And a momentary relief. Bergkamp. Well played, Yobo. Here's Bent. And the whistle goes for an Arsenal free kick. Or is it a throw? Yeah, he's given the latter. Lauren. Senderos gets his boot through it, good old-fashioned style. David Weir underneath it for Everton. Pistone. Ooh, there's a late challenge there by Flamini.
I think he might have to book him for that one because it was late. He's not been that type of game. I think sometimes the referees don't have any choice. The ball's long gone and it's the trailing foot, isn't it? Catches Pistone. I don't think Alan Wiley had any choice at all but to give the yellow card to Flamini.
Only 21, the young Frenchman who played 7 games in a row before he picked up a thigh injury. Over the head of Lauren. Now prevents it going for a goal kick at least. That's Arsene Wenger's name that rings around this famous old stadium. Why not? They appreciate the quiet, studious university graduate from Strasbourg, a shy smile almost.
I think he waved, didn't he? Did he wave to the crowd?
No, he wouldn't be as demonstrative as that, would he?
Or was it just a smile?
As well as his fantastic league record, either first or second in each of his 8 full seasons, he's hoping to win the FA Cup for what would be a 4th time. Amazing, isn't it?
He's done fantastic. When he arrived in English football, many people were saying Arsene Wenger wasn't well known, but he's done a brilliant job.
Now can Everton get something back here? Bent was well placed for the cross, but it never reached him. Yobo. We got lucky there. Now Hibbert. Good ball from McFadden. Pistone. Bent to his outside. Bent ahead of him. And you could see what Marcus Bent was trying, but it didn't come off. Edu. Bergkamp. Perfectly weighted ball as ever to the feet of Reyes. Pires and Lauren. Flamini, good challenge by Carsley. Marcus Bent rather carelessly gives it away, tries hard to win it back. And then Reyes presents it to Arteta. young Spaniard. Kilban. There's Lee Carsley. Everton indulging in a little bit of possession football of their own. They haven't had too many opportunities tonight to do that. And they might have won a free kick there, but the referee's waved play on. And here come Arsenal again. Dennis Bergkamp. Reyes one side of him. It's come back to Pires, but a good challenge by Arteta. However, Reyes has it back again for the Gunners. Henry. Here's Edu. And Bergkamp. They just wait. They never do anything in a panic. They never do anything carelessly.
They just wait for an opening. That's exactly what they do. If it's not on, don't play it. Keep hold of it. Good possession football. And then just wait for a little bit of movement, injection of pace, and then they play the pass and play it superbly well.
Coming up to an hour on the clock, and it's been 60 minutes of total domination by Arsenal. In a way, you'd have to say the scoreline, impressive as it is, doesn't really reflect their superiority here.
No, it doesn't. It could have been a lot worse for Everton. Perhaps still might be.
Marcus Bent. Flamini. Here's Senderos. Good ball. Howard. Edu. Arsenal's final home game of the season, and they are most certainly signing off in style. And you get the impression that we haven't seen the end of the goal scoring yet. Still half an hour to play. And Lehmann's hardly had a thing to do. However, he couldn't manage to keep that ball on the pitch. Arsenal are the only team in the Premiership who've scored in every home game. Has now seen a total of 70 goals for and against Arsenal this season. There's the penultimate campaign, of course, at this famous old stadium. The new Arsenal ground. Just a long goal kick away from here. Growing up a pace now. You can drive past it on your way to Highbury and see just how impressive it's going to be. Waiting to deliver the free kick here. I think Arsenal might be about to make another substitution. But in it goes anyway, and coming round the back, Kevin Kilban almost got his head onto that. McFadden. Watson. Well, looks for Reyes, who took a risk then against McFadden. That kind of night when everything's running for Arsenal, till that moment anyway. Yobo. Arteta. Here's Watson. Not a bad ball. Marcus Bent gets there, but there's a suspicion that Senderos might have been trying to pull him back then. There was no great complaint from the Everton players.
Just skimmed off the pitch, didn't it? Good run from Bent and from Carsley as well.
There's Edu. With quick feet again by the Brazilian. Now Dennis Bergkamp. Wonderful. How did he keep possession then? Lauren's ball in.
Unlike Arsenal to cross the ball there, wasn't it? They don't normally do that. Again, great skill from Dennis Bergkamp. Look what, two players still got hold of the ball. Good ball from Lauren.
Perez will not be getting his hat-trick because he's being substituted to a standing ovation from Highbury. Wonderful contribution he's made. Now he's being kept in cold storage. And Cesc Fabregas, the 18-year-old who's had a magnificent first season in English football, comes on in his place. It's his 44th appearance of the season, and he's only just turned 18.
I was going to say, for someone so young, it's been a fantastic first season for him. Can only get better.
It's been a very productive night for Arsene Wenger. He's given Campbell a game, he's given Henry a game. He's got a couple of goals out of Perez, and now he can afford to rest him for the remainder of the match. And here goes Ben, trying to bring Everton back into the picture. Wonderful defending by Campbell. Oh, but not the second time. He wasn't expecting the cross.
He wasn't. It was a good tackle in the first place, though, wasn't it? Ben's got pace, I mentioned it. Got to get it right. And he did.
Talking of pace, here's Henry, onto Reyes, Bergkamp far post. White just about made the telling interception. Now Flomini. And still Everton find those red shirts coming at them from all angles. Edo tries his luck from the range.
He's always rising that shot. Richard Wright was a little bit disappointed with the original one that came in from Reyes. He felt he should have caught it. He certainly hasn't been to blame for the 4 goals. Couldn't have done anything about them at all. The funny thing is, he's actually had a good game tonight. 4-0 down though.
Started about half a dozen games back in January, Richard Wright, when Nigel Martin was injured. Made 22 appearances in his one season here after Arsenal signed him from Ipswich, and won a League and Cup double. Senderos. Edu, good ball. Reyes, lovely ball. Thierry Henry. Good save. And Yobo just about made sure it didn't reach the on-rushing Fabregas.
Another good save from Richard Wright. The last thing you want to be a defender, particularly David Weir, is one-on-one with Thierry Henry. You know he's going to do you for pace. Good strike across the keeper, and a strong hand from Richard Wright. Yet another save.
And Manchester United will be cursing their luck, because it did seem quite genuinely at one stage that Thierry Henry was very unlikely to be fit enough in time to figure in Arsenal's FA Cup final squad. But providing he comes through this test tonight safely, it looks as though they'll have him available.
I think there's been some smashing football play by Arsenal tonight. I think the 2 things that Arsene Wenger will be most pleased about is certainly Sol Campbell, looking like he's going to play the whole game, and Thierry Henry back in the team as well. 2 big pluses for them.
And here he goes. Oh, Yobo now 3 times has denied Henry.
Well, he has 3 times. But I think it's worrying how many times Henry has been one-on-one with Yobo and with David Weir. You just can't afford a player of that class to be 1 against 1.
Reyes. Henry's there again. Lovely little ball. And Fabregas denied the opportunity to shoot.
Again, runners. They had a player outside him, Henry. I think it was Bergkamp. Chose to come inside. And again, Yobo with a cover.
It's a chilly evening here in North London, but Arsenal are warming us all up with the quality of their football. I don't suppose watching Evertonians would agree. Was that a handball? It was! Now, who gets to take the penalty? Henry or Bergkamp?
Well, that was interesting, because I'm not sure that the assistant actually gave it there. It's referee Alan Wiley who calls it. Was it the arm? Was it the chest? It's definitely the arm. Looks like the arm to me. They are complaining. but I don't think the assistant gave it. I think Alan Wiley gave that one.
There's a lot of discussion going on meantime in the Arsenal ranks as to who exactly will take this kick.
Yeah, well, I think I'm right in saying that Henry, if he's involved in being fouled or involved in the penalty, he doesn't take it.
Normally that's right. But it's Edu.
Yeah, what a nice touch.
Appearance.
What a nice touch.
His last game at Highbury, he could mark with a goal. He hasn't scored here, by the way, for over 18 months. The Brazilian says bye-bye to Highbury with a goal. And Arsenal move on to 5.
And poor old Richard Wright. I mentioned it, he hasn't done a lot wrong tonight. He does everything right here because he guesses the right way. But it's so far in the corner. He can't keep it out. Gets his hand on it. Can't stop it going into the back of the net. Nice touch to see Edu taking the penalty. Could well be his last goal for the club. 5-0 with 20 minutes left.
And a better memory for him than the last time he played against Everton back in November in a Carling Cup time, and he broke his toe playing against them. Arsenal 5, Everton 0. That is now 84 Premiership goals for the season for Arsene Wenger's team. 84. Not bad for the runners-up. Arteta. Bent. It's a good effort from that difficult angle.
It was a good effort. I think he'll do well to score from that angle though, Marcus Bent. Makes a good run. Just tries to strike it early. I think Lehmann would have had that one covered. I'm very disappointed to get beat from that position.
And Everton fans being taunted again. Champions League, they're having a laugh, is the cry from the Arsenal supporters. But they are, or almost anyway, they've still got a not inconsiderable hurdle of a qualifying round before they can take their place in Europe's Premier competition for what would be the first time in 34 years. Forget tonight, their season has been one of excellence and consistency. Foul on Senderos.
Again, good covering, isn't it, from Senderos? I think McFadden was just a bit angry with himself. He didn't run a bit earlier because he would have got the ball before Senderos. The young man's covering has been excellent all night.
Well, they used to sing 1-0 to the Arsenal. Now it's 5-0. There's a late challenge there by Watson.
Well, he was perhaps a bit fortunate, Steve Watson, not to get a yellow card there. Wasn't a lot different to Flamini's. There you go, training leg, catches him. I'm sure the Arsenal players are arguing what's the difference between that one and Flamini's one.
There goes Thierry Henry, weaving his magical little patterns. Reyes. Here's Henry again. He was inviting enough ball. Everton on the end of their heaviest defeat of the season, and Arsenal aren't finished with them yet. Oh, lovely football. Brilliant. Just a bit overindulgent in the end. But they've won it back. Everton look as though they've completely given up the ghost now. Senderos. And just as it looks as though Everton are going to threaten a period of possession again, Arsenal win it back. say, if you've got to lose your title, it's better to lose it in the style that Arsenal have. There may be no great consolation that to Arsene Wenger, but I'm sure sitting on the touchline he has enjoyed the quality of their football this season as much as their loyal fans have.
Well, I think he would have done. I think there's no doubt that the defeat they suffered at Manchester United and losing that unbeaten run, it did hit them hard. It took them a while to recover from it. I think at times some of the football's been real quality from Arsenal, and I'm sure they'll bounce back next season stronger and better, and with other players as well. He has got a transfer kitty, and I'm sure he will sign some players in the summer.
Mikel Arteta is going off, and he'll be replaced by one fella who certainly won't lie down in the last 15 minutes here. Duncan Ferguson, the only man left in the Everton squad from the last team to beat Arsenal at Highbury. That was 9 years ago, the last Everton team, of course.
Something always happens when Big Duncan's on the pitch. I'm sure it won't be any different tonight.
Hefty challenge there from Pistone, and Arsenal another free kick. Henry. Here's Edu. Reyes. Henry. Reyes takes over again. It's a lovely ball. Bowden. Bergkamp. And he closed him down before he could do any further damage. It is Arsenal's throw-in. A little bit quieter than he was in the first half, but his overall contribution tonight absolutely magnificent. Oh, a slip suddenly has let Marcus Bent in. Senderos racing back to try and atone for the error. Well, it was more of an accident than an error. Watson couldn't survive the challenge from Campbell.
Well, he put his hand up, Senderos. It was a slip, it wasn't so much an error. The problem for Marcus Bent is he's up there on his own, had nowhere to go. Good covering from Sol Campbell as well.
Bergkamp looks to make it 6. That's the goal the Highbury crowd really wanted. Six of the best.
Well, apart from the Everton fans watching at home, is there any other fans in the country that will begrudge Dennis Bergkamp scoring that goal? Just a long punt down the middle. David Weir's the unlucky man, just tries to clear it. I thought he messed it up, Bergkamp, with the first touch. It was unlike him because it did squirm away from him a little bit. But the master knows where the goal is. And some of the finishing tonight from Arsenal has been world class. And that's another good finish. He fully deserves that, Dennis Bergkamp. And if they don't see him here next year, they'll always remember that goal at Highbury. He's had a fantastic game.
A triple celebration for Bergkamp. He was 36 yesterday. He's just about to celebrate 10 years as an Arsenal player. Now he scored a goal. And listen to the reaction from the crowd here. There is indeed only one Dennis Bergkamp. Retire? You must be joking. On this form, he's still one of the best players in Europe.
They give him a 4-year contract in this form. Forget the age. I think there's a bit of a myth in football about age. Who cares how old someone is? If they can play like Bergkamp, just let him keep playing. Wrap him up in cotton wool if you have to. Fantastic footballer.
The only thing you do lose as you get older is pace. He was never particularly quick, and his mind is about 10 yards quicker than everybody else.
It certainly is. Yellow card coming up for Sol Campbell, I think. Yeah, certainly a poor tackle on Duncan Ferguson. Tackle from behind, you can't do that anymore. You're quite right, Alan, about Dennis Bergkamp. He's never been the quickest of players. He has lost a little bit of that pace he did have, but his brain's just so much quicker than everyone else. I think he might be enjoying it tonight. Nearly a smile from the Iceman.
I don't think Everton are enjoying it. Can they get one back? Duncan Ferguson was close. Marcus Bent ball in. And now Edu breaks clear for Arsenal. Oh, that's a great ball for Reyes as well. And they're absolutely flooding forward here, the red shirts. Now, of course, what the Highbury fans really want to see is a goal by Thierry Henry. Just over 10 minutes to go, and the fourth best team in the Barclays Premiership are being slaughtered by the second best team. Unbelievable, Thierry Henry. That was worth the admission money alone. Reyes! Did I really see what I think I've just seen?
You did, and it was fantastic. We want to see the shot again from Reyes. It's the skill from Henry. We're not going to see it in this clip. The skill before them was absolutely brilliant. Good strike from Reyes. What's this from Henry? Not so much that one. What's this one? See ya. Brilliant.
It was Everton's misfortune to get Arsenal on a night like this. I think they truly, playing this sort of football, would have beaten anybody, and I'm including Chelsea in that.
I think they'll beat anyone in the world, no matter anyone in the Premiership on this form.
What a way to sign off your season. Foul there, I'm sure Everton would rather have had the advantage. Here have been told that the players will do a lap of honour, more or less, immediately after the game finishes, as Big Duncan leaves his mark. Philippe Senderos obviously doesn't know too much about him if he's challenging him.
No, but I said something always happens when Big Duncan's on the pitch. There you go. Don't get in the way of me, because I'll shove you over and put you in the holding balls. He obviously hasn't watched too many Everton games this season, because you know that was coming. Nothing more frustrating as a player to be 6 goals down and having a defender trying to rush the ball out of play. And that was always on the cards from Ferguson.
Well, David Moyes is an honest man. I'm sure he'll just hold his hands up at the end of this and say, what can you do when they're in this mood? What can you do when Thierry Henry's playing like that? And Bergkamp, like he is.
We've lost count of the nutmegs tonight. It's been sensational stuff. I think David Moyes, I mean, it's very easy to be critical of Everton and say they've been poor, and they have been poor tonight, but I think it is one of those occasions to more sing Arsenal's praises rather than say how bad Everton have been.
Absolutely right. Fabregas. Henry with another audacious little layoff to Lowry. Doesn't get them all right, does he?
No, he doesn't.
Just about 9 out of 10. There goes Big Duncan again. Senderos perhaps has learnt his lesson.
I'm not sure he has he? If he had done it, a little bit of verbals as well there.
If he needs any toughening up, a few games against Duncan Ferguson should do the job.
Certainly will. He's a winner though, isn't he, Duncan Ferguson? Won't take too kindly to coming on and his team losing 6-0. I don't think you can fault the Everton players for effort. It's not been one of those occasions where they haven't tried and they haven't put the effort in. I think they have put the effort in. They're just playing against a superb team.
Here's Ashley Cole, who's had one of his quieter games tonight. Good ball, Fabregas to Reyes. Edu. Henry. A little party piece from the master. There you go. It was a great ball in. And it's turned home by Flamini for his first ever goal for Arsenal. The magnificent 7.
That's another sensational goal. Watch Thierry Henry. Absolutely brilliant. A little bit of juggling. What shall I do with it now? Shall I sling it in the box? No, I think I'll just check back. Send the dummy. Great cross. This Reyes does brilliant, doesn't he? Cuts it back to Flamini. And that is not an easy finish again. Lovely ball from Henry. Great vision from Reyes. Half volley back. Finish into the back of the net. And he enjoyed that one as well.
Well, last season was a record-breaking one for Arsene Wenger's team. Tonight they have broken another record. It's their biggest ever Premiership victory. And against an Everton team who have been so mean defensively all season. Ferguson on the far post, trying to get his head on that. Come out to Watson. It's been that kind of night though, hasn't it, for the men in blue?
It has.
Is he satisfied now? I think he is.
Yeah, just about smiling, Arsene Wenger.
It's now getting embarrassing for Everton. They're on the end of the biggest hiding any team has had in the Premiership all season. Nothing is going to spoil what has been a magnificent campaign for them. But this is a night they will want to erase from their memories very quickly.
Well, they better make sure they don't concede 2 more goals before the end, because I think I'm right in saying Manchester United got 9, didn't they, against Ipswich many years ago.
That's right.
You certainly don't want to equal that.
When you think of some of the saves that Richard Wright has made as well, it could so easily have been around that total.
Yep. He's had a good game, the Everton goalkeeper.
Henry, is he going to add to the score? Not this time.
Well, he is human. There won't be too many times where Arsenal get 7 and the master doesn't get 1. I know he's only played the second half. But he's been brilliant since he came on.
I think you could say it's been a decent fitness test.
Just a little bit. I don't think Arsene Wenger will be too worried about him in terms of the cup final. Might need to protect him a little bit in training. Give him a little run out of the weekend. But I think he's fit and raring to go for the cup final, as is Sol Campbell.
Not been a very good 24 hours for Manchester United. May the 21st is another date, another game, another challenge. Wasn't a very good throw out by Lehmann. I think he's forgotten what the ball looks like. Everton just want to hear that final whistle now and get out of here.
I think they wanted to hear it at half-time and stay in the dressing room. It's got even worse in the second half.
So's the weather, by the way. Can you just check the calendar, TC? Is it really May? It's freezing.
It feels like January.
Flag had gone up long before Henry hit that one.
Was he offside? The problem is he's so quick, isn't he? Looking across the line, doesn't look offside to me. Look level. That was a good job for Everton's sake. He was given offside. You see the frustration there from Henry. He wants a goal. I once played in a West Ham team that won 8-1, Alan, and I didn't score, and it is so frustrating. That's how Henry feels. 7 goals, hasn't scored. He wants to get one before the end.
Ferguson's header on as Everton try to pull one back at least. Here is Ferguson.
Oh, he's unlucky, the big man, because he tried exactly the right thing. Lehmann was off his line. It was quick thinking from him. Wins the original header, comes back to him. There's Lehmann off his line. He was worried. This wasn't on target though.
Reyes. Now Henry again. Oh. Taking him on single-handedly now. Good ball as well. 2 minutes of stoppage time. What a relief that figure will be for all Evertonians. They've proved their worth over the 8 or 9 long months of this season, though. Humiliating and embarrassing, though, tonight has been for them. It is merely a one-off, a very regrettable one, but a one-off all the same.
Well, tonight has been humiliating and embarrassing, but it won't change the fact that Everton are going to be in the Champions League next year. And let's not forget that. They've had a fantastic season. This has been a night to forget for Everton, night to remember from an Arsenal point of view, because it's been a privilege to be here and watch the football being played. But Everton will be in the Champions League next season. And it's important we don't forget that.
Hibbert. Paul and Nadu go for the same ball, and the Brazilian produces a bit of trickery. Bergkamp. Seconds remaining of Arsenal's home campaign in season 2004-2005. And what a magnificent way they have signed off. Still one more game in the league to come at Birmingham at St Andrews on Sunday. I wonder what Steve Bruce's thoughts are at this moment, by the way. And then, of course, a week later, the FA Cup final at the Millennium Stadium against Manchester United.
I think Steve Bruce might play 9 at the back on Sunday. Watching this,
or at least.
Dear oh dear. What do you do?
Is there another one in the locker? Reyes almost made it 8. Good save by Wright. Yeah. An embarrassed-looking David Moyes shakes the hand of a delighted-looking Arsene Wenger, whose team tonight have shown the whole nation the kind of football they're capable of playing. Dennis Bergkamp orchestrated things for them, particularly in a magnificent first half when he had a part to play in all 3 Arsenal goals. And then they added another 4 in the second half as they just turned on the style. Everton were blown apart. They simply had no answer to a display of breathtaking football. A wonderful, wonderful Arsenal performance. They have beaten, nay, hammered Everton by 7 goals to 0.